Teaching students about different sentence structures can be quite challenging, which is why lots of repetition is needed. Hopefully, these videos will give you some inspiration when it comes to teaching sentence structures, or even ways to improve your students' writing. Right, let's get on with the video. Let's start with a simple sentence. Amy and Tim got wet in the rain. You have two subjects, Amy and Tim, which are also nouns in the sentence. So you've got your subject-verb agreement. The sentence makes sense. Amy and Tim got wet in the rain. So how can we make this more interesting, I hear you ask? Now you can make this more interesting by adding in a relative clause and using some more precise vocabulary. Now let's tell the reader a bit more about Amy by adding in a relative clause. What is a relative clause, I hear you ask? A relative clause gives you extra information about a subject. It also gives you information about a pronoun or a noun within the sentence. And a relative clause will always start with a relative pronoun, like one of these. That, who, whose, whom, and which. Amy, comma, relative pronoun, who. Let's think, Amy, what could we say about Amy? Amy, who was a class representative. That sounds good. Let's add a relative clause in here too. Tim, comma, who was Amy's best friend, comma, got wet in the rain. But why did they get wet in the rain? I'm sure the reader would want to know why they got wet in the rain. So let's remove the full stop and put in a comma. Because, which is a conjunction, because they forgot their coats. Right, let's read that sentence back. Amy, who was the class representative, and Tim, who was her best friend, got wet in the rain because they forgot their coats. Wet. I'm sure there's another word we can use rather than using wet. We could use drenched or soaked or saturated or even bedraggled. Amy, who was the class representative, and Tim, who was her best friend, got drenched in the rain because they had forgotten their coats. That's so much better. So, by using more precise and interesting vocabulary and a variety of sentence structures, you can make your writing much more interesting. You can pop over to our website and download this sample resource. Follow and like for more videos like this. Here are some activity ideas. Relative pronouns and this sentence. Did you know you could do this? Students writing. Follow and like. Let's write. And a noun. What is an expanded noun and